Okay. Um, this video, I want to talking about movies. I've seen people recently talking about their top 10 or top 5 or favorite movies of all time.
And so we're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that, yes. What we're going to talk about is movies that we've just enjoyed over the years, inspired us.
Mm-hmm.
We've just sit down and watch the movie. I know I would say this before we get into it. Movies for me, I would say everybody has one thing or like a couple things they do in their life to shut off their brain.
Yeah.
When you've had a hard day, you do this thing to just shut off your brain. For me, I wouldn't say watching a movie is me completely shutting off my brain, but it's making it so I'm not thinking about just making my mind thinking about the small things, getting crazy and everything. I focus on the movie and enjoy just relaxing and watching a movie.
That makes sense.
I would say that's probably one of the reasons why I enjoy making movies or watching movies so much, just in general.
What is it about movies that makes you relax? Is it the story? Are you thinking about cinematography? Are you thinking about the movie?
The fact that I'm not thinking anything except for the movie, except for when I'm watching.
Okay.
I don't.
So you like getting engrossed in a world that's not.
Yes.
I gotcha. Ever since I went to college, pretty much from that point on, it's been extremely difficult for me to watch a movie and not analyze it. And so you might notice a few things that when I'm picking out a movie, it's just going to be hard for me to ignore that.
Yeah.
I can't just sit back and watch a movie. People love the Avenger movies. People love these big blockbuster films. Most of those, I mean, there's a couple that I enjoy. But most of them are going to be older blockbusters, like not any of the new ones.
Okay.
And it's just because it's just the style of these big movies and everything I don't enjoy as much. And so we can talk about some of the movies that we enjoy, but I will say, from my perspective, it's going to be more of I'm going to like an aspect of it.
Okay.
That's related to the filmmaking.
Okay. So you've given your answer. I mean, not your answer, but like your reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so, how about you give your first one? Just
okay.
Name a movie, we'll talk about it.
Again, this is in no particular order of like or dislike. Should I?
Yeah.
I feel like I need to say what my favorite movie is. Do I have to?
You have a favorite movie?
I have a favorite movie, of course.
Okay. I don't have one, but you have one, so you'll tell everybody.
I have a favorite movie because it's nostalgic.
At the end. Okay. At the end.
It's nostalgic.
At the end.
It's probably a lot of people's favorite movie.
Okay. It's probably one I like, just not. I don't have a favorite movie because I enjoy watching so many different things. One time I'll enjoy watching this movie. Then in this mood I'll enjoy watching this movie.
Yeah, movies are definitely for a mood. And I don't watch my favorite movie over and over again because I do have to be in a mood. If I'm feeling nostalgic, if I'm feeling like happy, if I want to hang out with friends, then I go to this movie. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And a lot of people agree. A lot of people will agree with my choice because they probably feel the exact same way.
Okay. So Tell us
what's a movie? The movie that comes to mind.
Not your favorite one.
Not my favorite. No, we're doing the favorite at the end.
Yep.
All right. The one that comes to mind that honestly I've only seen once. Maybe I saw it twice, but I saw it once or twice just a while ago. But it stood out to me because, again, I think of the filmmaking and I think of how artistic it is. It had the best cinematographer, the best director of photography in the industry
just
right
say
now.
What it is.
The Revenant.
Okay.
I loved The Revenant. It was a beautiful, grungy film that it made you feel the pain, the physical pain, the emotional pain, the just burden. When the dude was out in the cold shivering, you felt cold, you know? You were in his face. You had
I've
all
only
that
seen
emotion.
it once also. So.
I mean, the camera just follows through the scene. Like, it doesn't do a lot of cuts. It just follows as if you're there with him. And it gets right up in the guy's face. And it just shows so many details on a person-to-person level instead of, like, getting a wide view and showing the action. It was like, this is what's happening right here in the middle of it. And it stood out to me. I know there's a few movies like that. But that one stood out to me because maybe it was the setting, maybe it was like that, woodsy survival kind of style film, but it just stood out to me. It was beautiful and it was very emotional. I mean, I know the bear attack looked a little fake because it was a CGI bear. Mm-hmm. You're not going to do that with a real bear. But even though it was a CGI bear, it still felt painful. It still felt intense because the action wasn't showing the bear attack him. It was showing like his face and right where he was at, and the bear was running at him, and it felt like the bear was running at you, those kind of things. And so it really got the emotion of the scene in, and so the cinematography and just the whole way The Revenant was made stood out to me for sure. It's not my favorite movie, but it brought it to my mind when I was thinking about this.
Okay. I like that. All
right,
that.
What's yours? What's your one that you want to talk about, that you think worthy to talk about?
I'm going to kind of say like the worst and kind of get better, I guess, of what I like more. But
So
we're not ranking.
We're just talking about movies that are worthy talking about.
Worthy talking about for me.
Okay.
I would agree with you. Most of the newer big Marvel movies, blockbusters, I don't like.
Or like the Disney movies,
There's a couple, well, I'm specifically talking about Marvel for this reason.
Okay.
A lot of the newer ones I do not like. I agree. I think a lot of them are trash. Because they're just putting them out for money, I think, at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's my favorite superhero. And I feel like how they portrayed this movie was very good with like the old soft rock type music. It was very classic. The actor was funny. I think he played it. He was older than the character's supposed to be in the comics, but I feel like he played it pretty good.
Who is it?
The Mary Jane, I really like. The Mary Jane is. And so what it is the Spider-Man movies, but the old ones with, what's his name? Tobey Maguire.
You like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man?
Yes, I love specifically probably the second one with
the Crybaby Spider-Man. The dude who's like
yes.
The Spider-Man who has the
you got to say that's got a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah,
with
for sure.
Especially with like us, that was like probably the first superhero like live action superhero movie we watched.
Yeah.
It's
besides
good.
Zorro.
That doesn't count, but like
he's the Mexican
Marvel,
superhero.
Like comic book hero live action we watched. I think that's such a good one. Any Spider-Man past that was okay, but it's not, for some reason that's just got, I love to watch those movies. They're horribly made, I'll admit. They're not the best.
They're not horribly made.
They're not the best, but there's a lot of nostalgia to it, and it's just, they're good.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it's really definitely a good time. Like the guy who plays Jameson, the reporter guy, the guy he takes photos for,
Yeah,
the Daily Bugle. He's funny.
Yeah, he is very funny. He's
hilarious. For some reason, I like those films. I feel like they're good.
I can't argue. Can't you
agree with me?
I can't argue with it.
Yes.
I would say those are the best Spider-Man movies made.
I would say that for me, they're like my top superhero movie.
Yeah.
Of all time.
All three, or like just the first one, or
specifically
the first,
probably
second?
the second one is probably my favorite.
With Dr. Octopus?
Yeah. That's probably my favorite one.
Really?
But the first one's good too.
I like the first and second. The third one was hard to get into.
A lot of people didn't like the third one. It was okay, but it wasn't the best.
Okay. The third Spider-Man, though, when, I'm forgetting his name. What's his friend's name? It's Peter Parker's friend?
Harry.
When Harry dies,
Osborn.
played by,
yes.
Gosh dang it, I'm forgetting everyone's name.
Yes, I know you're talking about the guy.
James Franco.
James Franco.
Played by James Franco. When he dies, at the end of the third. That was the first movie as a young guy, probably younger teenage guy when these movies came out. Yeah, I was a younger teenager.
Mm-hmm.
I cried.
You didn't really cry, but
I did.
I know what you're saying. Got emotional.
Don't dispute me.
I'm disputing
cried.
you. You did not cry.
I for sure cried. It was so heart-wrenching.
Yes.
And I will weep today if I watch that scene.
Okay. Well, to keep things going, you tell me your next one.
All right. This one
Next movie
is full of childhood wonder and magic and excitement. There are superpowers involved.
Yes.
There are mythical creatures involved. There
Yes.
are pirates involved.
Yes.
I'm talking about Hook.
Ooh, that is a good movie.
I'm
Good,
talking about
yes.
Hook, made by
Yes.
Steven Spielberg, right?
Yes.
Steven Spielberg made that movie. Robin Williams.
Did you know Carrie
played
Fisher's in that movie?
I haven't seen it in a minute. Who did she play?
She's only a cameo in it because, and I don't want to get this wrong because, like, you can correct me right in the comments if you know the true story, but I want to say, like, one of the prequel Star Wars were being filmed around the same time as Hook when it came out, like Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi, one of those. And so there's a scene where Tink is taking the old Peter Pan back to Neverland, and he's like wrapped up in a blanket, and she's flying through the air.
Oh, that she plays the
no. She doesn't play Tink.
Oh, I know she doesn't play Tinkerbell.
But there's a scene where she's like flying over London, sprinkles some fairy dust on this couple that's kissing, and the couple starts floating because they're kissing.
Carrie Fisher's a kisser.
Carrie Fisher was was the lady kissing in that scene. A lot of people don't know that, but it was like a cameo type thing.
That's interesting.
Because they were filming Star Wars at the same time around the same area.
Stop stealing my thunder.
No,
I'm here to talk.
Fun fact about that movie.
Okay, fun
That's
fact.
cool.
Carrie Fisher's in Hook, but there's so much more to Hook to talk about.
Okay, yeah.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams in general, just
Okay, but we can't go down the list of Robin Williams
Yes.
movies.
Yeah.
Because most all of them are amazing. But Hook, we watched at a young age. I mean, I was so young that I thought the most scariest thing for the longest time in my mind, the scariest thing I've ever seen was when they put like those little lobster spider looking things in the treasure chest.
Ooh, yes.
That was the scariest thing in my mind.
I mean, to be
because I
trapped in
watched
a
this
chest
I
with-
watched it at such a young age that I thought the idea of torture. They literally introduced me to the idea of torture.
Yes.
And
I
so
would agree.
I was so young that disturbed me for a long time.
And the food. It's
So-
like eating.
But listen, Joshua.
Okay.
Listen. So I watched it at such a young age that I have a lot of nostalgia behind this movie. But just the process of the adult Peter Pan and then rediscovering his childhood and then coming back and accepting his life and his kids and his family outside of this world of Neverland. It's a beautiful... It's kind of like he went through a midlife crisis against his will, but also it's just a beautiful picture of how we should view our own lives. You know, as adults, you grow up, you have responsibilities and people depend on you, and so you can't just run away from them when you may desire something else, you know? You may desire to want to still have adventures or still, you know, be a kid or do things of that nature, but a lot of times you can't because time keeps moving and you do grow up and you have to be the next generation's parent, you know?
Yeah.
So that they have that sense of childhood and wonder. And then it continues a cycle. And it's a very beautiful picture. I think that was the point of the story. But my goodness, does it take you on a ride in that movie with the pirates playing baseball and just the elaborate
Food.
what the lack of food, you mean?
They had a lot of frosting for some reason and meat.
Because it was all imagination.
meat.
It was all imagination.
That one kid eats that huge like leg of meat.
I understand.
Dude, that sounds delicious right now.
Okay.
But you want to go to the next movie, or do you want to keep talking about this?
I just wanted to take some time to acknowledge Hook.
Yes.
I'm sure almost everybody's seen it, but if you haven't seen Hook, starring Robin Williams, you need to watch that. Just do it.
Yep. Okay. My next one
that you think is worth talking about.
Yes. When I watched this, the first time I watched it, I was like, it's okay. And then the more you watch it, you get more enthralled into it.
Okay, enthralled.
The longer you watch it, the more, like, the first time you watch it, you first get it. It takes a minute to get into the story, but then about 30 minutes in, you're like, man, this is good.
What is it?
Inception.
Oh, Inception's very good.
I like it. There's a lot of twists and turns, and it's a good storyline.
It's hard to follow.
Yes, but the reason why I like it, I'm someone who loves Easter eggs and hidden meanings and backstories to movies, where the actors or directors or writers, whoever's making it, they throw in things that if you really study a movie and actually get into the story, you can pick up and enjoy it way more if you actually know what it is.
Well, there's some elaborate writers out there.
Yes. And one of the theories, this is only a theory, I don't know if anybody's actually confirmed this, but if you've watched the movie, you know the plot of it. He has the spinning top. He goes into dreams and he spins the top to know if he's in the dream or not. At the end of the movie, to give it away, spoiler, I'm about to say it, he spins the top. It does not topple, but it might have toppled. You don't know if he's in a dream or not.
Before it topples.
Because, he gets to do what he wants to get back to his kids. There's a theory, if you study this, where he spins the top and everybody says that was his token, but if you think about it, that was actually his wife's token, who died in the movie. Spoiler alert again.
I have heard this theory.
That was his wife's token. It wasn't his token. His token was his wedding ring. So if you watch in the movie, there's certain times he has a wedding ring on, sometimes he does not.
Okay, what is at the end of the movie? Does he have his wedding ring on?
He does. Yes.
He has it? So he ends in a dream?
No. The fact that he has the wedding ring on means that he knows he's not in a dream and he's living his life truly outside of the dream. Because he puts it on when he's not in the dream and to make sure he's not in a dream, basically.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. So he wears the ring when he's not in a dream so he can be like, oh, I've got my ring on.
And when he told someone that his token was the spinner.
Yes, because if they put him in a dream, I guess he wouldn't have it. Or
it is a theory.
Or he wouldn't have the weight of his wedding ring.
Okay. But it is a theory.
That's a good theory.
It's a very good theory. It's not your theory.
No, I wouldn't claim it to be mine.
There are a few scenes in the movie that calls it into question. When he wakes up from a dream and he's panicking, he's by himself in a bathroom. He goes immediately to spinning the spin top.
And he has the ring on. If you look closely, he has the ring on at that point.
So why does he go to spin the top when he's by himself?
Because it's all an illusion. He wants people to think that's his token, but it's really not.
But no one was with him. He wouldn't be alluding to anything. Whatever. It's a great theory. It probably is true.
So why I think it's such a good movie is because it's so deep to the point where if that's true or not,
we don't know.
It's still a thought, and you can think about it and just think about it for hours, and it's so good.
All right.
So your next movie.
Okay. We're going to do 2 more movies, and then we're going to finish it off by saying our favorite movies-ish. All right. Okay. So the next one, I enjoy thrillers. I really do.
Ooh,
I enjoy thrilling movies. I don't enjoy horror movies, but I do. I've watched a few horror. Some of them are okay. I really enjoy psychological thrilling movies. Okay. Movies that get you on the edge of your seat.
What movie would you say has tickled your fancy of thrilling?
Signs.
It's not that thrilling, but yes,
it is.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
It's not thrilling when you watch it a bunch of times, but the first time you watch it, it's very good.
Mel Gibson, he's a
great actor.
Great actor, great director, great producer, great everything.
Joaquin Phoenix, he's great acting in it. Had some amazing kid actors, very good.
Yes.
And
funny.
It is funny.
I mean, to this day, funny. Actually, I just saw, like, a couple days ago, as a joke, someone had like a foil top talking about, I guess this was the alien stuff.
Thing.
It was a joke, probably. I don't know where I saw it, but it was a joke that they had a foil helmet because of that movie, which is still a classic to this day.
And I want to keep moving, so I'm going to hand it off to you in just a second. But I will say the thing that makes it stand out to me is similar to why I like The Quiet Place. I think Signs was a little bit better, but it's for the same reason. Signs it's like a global catastrophe.
But you only
focus on a few people. It's taking a huge story that some other director might be like, oh, we're going to show so many characters and they're going to go around the world and we're going to show all this crazy, world catastrophe stuff. But M. Night Shyamalan doesn't do that. He says, I'm going to make a world catastrophe story.
M. Night Shyamalan.
But I'm going to bring it down and I'm going to focus on what's happening to this family during this time. And that's the focus of the movie. And that's the same thing with The Quiet Place. It's showing what's happening to this family or this community in this probably worldwide problem. Okay. And so I'll hand it off to you now that I kind of said why I like it.
Man, this is hard because I don't want to, if this is my last choice.
Well, we get to say what our kind of favorite movies is.
Well, I don't have my favorite movie, but I'm going to choose this because it's something that I want to talk about because I like talking about this.
All right, but we are close to running out of time. So
this movie, I liked it. The director's a great director, which I could say this director has a lot of great movies. I'm not saying this is just his best movie. He has a lot of great movies.
Okay.
But so I don't want to talk about all the great movies that he's done. I just want to talk about this one. A lot of people say the ending of this movie is very cheesy, it's very cheesy, yes. And I'll agree they didn't do great with the ending.
Okay.
And yes, it's kind of like a kid movie, but I like the storyline. And how they did this is Ready Player One by Steven Spielberg. I like it because I like, back to when I say the hidden meanings or hidden things in films. That movie has so much hidden Steven Spielberg references in the movie.
I know.
If you know Steven Spielberg and his movies, the stuff he's done, there's so much hidden stuff in it.
I know. He's done a lot.
Even not his work, just he got permission to put so much stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great.
Yeah. Calls a lot of those 80s movies out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has an 80s feel, even though it wasn't made in the 80s. And the storyline, how it's like they're in the game, they're not in the game. And the storyline, I really like it. And I feel like Steven Spielberg did a good job making it. I would say the ending was a little cheesy. Didn't like how it ended, per se, but it was a great story.
Yeah.
It's a great book. So, yes.
All right.
There we go.
So those are movies we thought are worth talking about.
Yep.
I'm going to give my favorite movie growing up. Again, there's a lot of nostalgia behind it. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. I like Dead Man's Chest and At World End a whole lot, but I like Curse of the Black Pearl just a little bit more. Yep, I know that's a lot of people's favorite movie. Everybody loves those movies, but I will say, growing up on those movies, it hit a chord in me.
Yep.
And so that's why it's my favorite movie.
Okay, so to end this off, tell us your favorite movie. We do want to hear from you guys. Sometimes people comment and they're like, this is great, make more.
We need to go on a rant about that.
No, we're not going to. We're going to end this. But we really want to hear your comments. What would you say is your favorite movies? What things should we have said? I know that we only had a certain amount of time. I want to say a lot more, but we need to end this this episode, so we're not going to go on for 3 hours. I could easily talk about this for 3 hours.
All right, when we get better equipment that allows us to record for 3 hours, we'll do 3-hour podcasts.
Okay, so talk about your favorite movie in the comments below or on any of the social medias and get a little conversation going.
Yeah. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We really appreciate you watching up to this point. If you are here with us, we thank you very much for watching our videos each week, and we will see you in the very next video.
Ta-ta.